Today we're taking a look at the new 2022 Mazda CX-5, a car which was already pretty good but has been made even better with some upgrades. But before we do that and dive into this car, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more weekly content and let us know down in the comments below what you would like to see next on the channel. Doubt about it then, Mazda for a while now has been producing some really good stylish looking cars, and this is no different. Now, the old Mazda CX-5 was great, but this new 2022 version has been given a little update and refresh. This one in particular now with us today is the high spec model and is absolutely stunning. And in this day and age, there is a lot of competition out there for a car like this. So let's find out if all these little updates that Mazda has given this new 2022 CX-5 make it stand out from the competition. Now, with this car, you have 5 trim levels to choose from, starting from about £27,845 to get the entry SE-L model. Moving up from that, then you have the new ground trim level, then the sport black, and finally the highest spec, which is what we have here today, the GT Sport. It's available in both petrol and diesel form with front and all-wheel drive in either a 6-speed manual or 6-speed automatic gearbox. Let's start with the first thing that grabs your attention. That's of course the updated headlights. The main headlight there, of course, which are super bright with the LED daytime running lights around it, and I think this just has such a nice sort of a timeless design to it, especially with those nice accent pieces there that they fitted into it as well. Mazda have really been nailing it when it comes to headlight designs, and of course there are so many cars out there these days which try and be all fancy and just end up looking a bit tacky and awkward, if I'm honest. Less is more here, and Mazda has demonstrated that quite well and kept it nice and sleek with a nice modern design to it, which is not too in your face, but it's definitely an upgrade from the previous models. Moving on to the grille then, I really like what they have going on here with the front grille design. Of course, you have that chrome piece that runs along the whole front of the car. If you step back for a second, you see it sort of resembles the front badge there as well. And that front badge also dubbing for a bunch of sensors being behind that as well for when you're driving on the road. If you step back then, of course, you see sort of a front splitter, if you will, on the front of the car. You can also opt to get that in a darker color as well, and black if you wish, alongside the wing mirrors and the window trim there as well, of course, which also just makes the car look a bit more sportier and gives it a bit more road presence, if you will. And all these small minor adjustments that they've done, nothing too drastic from Mazda, but tiny little things that add up, which make the car look a bit more sleeker and modern in today's day and age. Moving on to the wheels, and on the side you get the choice from 17 or 19-inch wheels, both at the front and the rear of the vehicle. And what you normally get on these CX models is the black cladding that runs along the wheel arch there, of course, and of course the bottom on the side of the car there as well. You can see this particular model here we have today is finished in the actual body color of the car as well, which you can decide to go ahead and choose from. In my opinion, if you choose to go ahead for the body colored version of that particular cladding and trim on the side there, it makes the car look a bit more taller and stand out a bit more. And then when it tends to have that black cladding on the side, the car seems a bit more planted and shorter to me, but of course that's also personal preference. If you go ahead then take the key, then unlock the rear boot like so by holding the button on the key, you can see that there's plenty of room back here. You get about 506 litres or so of storage. Also, just got some equipment back here. You get some latches on either side here. You can go ahead and tie anything down to. You also get a bunch of underfloor storage down there as well. By class standards, of course, this is extremely roomy. No load lippers there as well. And of course, there are a button up here as well for you to press and stand back. Automatically closed for you then, of course. So let's go ahead and take a look at the rear then quickly. First things first, of course, the badges on either side there, of course. And the thing that stands out to you is upgraded rear lights we have here. Now, nothing too drastic from Mazda again, but nice new modern look to it that we have here. If we step back, of course, we have the dual exhaust pipes on the other side, which are of course real, not fake, like certain new cars on the market these days. Just makes the car look a bit more sportier from the rear there. And overall, I think it makes the CX-5 look a bit more modern and sleeker, and definitely stands out on the market. So then now let's go ahead and take a look at the interior of the car. As you can see then, this car is finished in this lovely brown leather here as well. It does kind of look sometimes black, but in the direct sunlight you can actually tell it is brown. Of course, in this particular model, the sunroof there as well, which can be controlled through the middle, which is a good handy feature. The seats themselves obviously being fully electric, you don't have to faff around with any sort of mechanical lever or anything. Memory seats as well, with the option of having it to set it twice there, put it in the memory of the actual seat itself. If we go ahead then quickly take a look at the back, again plenty of headroom and knee room back here with my seat in the normal driving position. You can see plenty of space there, nice and clean, everything designed for a purpose in these Mazdas. You can see, if we go ahead then and pull this down, two cup holders there in the middle. Of course, these rear seats being heated as well, some storage area for you back there, the climate control back there as well, which is very nice. Go ahead and pop that back there. Again, you can fit 3 adults here perfectly fine. Plenty of space there, and I can't get over that brown leather, it just looks so nice. You see the stitching in the doors here, you can see it in the front as well. It just makes the car feel much more prestige compared to some rivals in the market. You see the sort of stitching down here, and then a sort of different material up here as well. It's not just all the same color or the same material, in fact. And I really do like what they've done up here. I'm not quite sure what particular material this is, but it just sort of adds to it and makes it stand out, and it looks really nice. You see this car brand new, even has some packaging still on the interior itself. If we go ahead and go to the rear of the car, if I press with the key, the boot should open. There you go. Obviously the dual exhaust pipes there. Forgive me, I've got some luggage in the back here, some equipment in my coat, but of course, as I said before, you get the 2 hinges on the side there, some underfloor storage there as well, which is going to lift up and you can put whatever you like. And this, in fact, if I just put the key down quickly, comes off here as well. If you don't want to, you can clip that back on, but we'll leave it on there as this is a demo car, in fact. Then we go ahead and press this button and the boot will close. Automatic tailgate there, very handy. And one thing I do obviously like as well, when you do lock the car, the door mirrors should go in. Oh, it won't actually, because that door's open, but I'll show you after. The door mirrors do go in, which is very nice. Same thing on this side, again with the stitching here, very nice. Plenty of room back here. You can see that now there, as I was saying before, the brown leather really standing out in this particular model here in the direct sunlight. Of course, a choice of 17 or 19-inch wheels there, and of course the passenger side here as well, again electric, fully electric seats there. No memory on this side though, only on the driver's side, but of course still very, very nice. If we go ahead there, you can see. Let's go ahead and get in the car. You can see we walk around there for another look at the front. Like I was trying to demonstrate before, we do lock the car, the mirrors go in, but of course this does have a button on the side. If the key is within range of the car, you just press this button here and the car should open and you can go ahead and get in. Again, same thing, if you don't want to press this key, the key is somewhere in your pocket or in your bag, you just press that button and you can walk away and the car will unlock itself. So now let's go ahead then and get in the car and go for a quick little drive and see how it performs on the road. Right, so here we are then in the new 2022 Mazda CX-5. Go ahead and put foot on the brake and start the car. There you see CX-5 comes up on the dash, and we'll go ahead and take it for a quick drive to see how it is. In fact, before we do that, I'll just take you through everything that we have here in the center console. If I can put my seatbelt in. So of course you have the 2 cup holders here in the middle, plenty of storage there. You can see that bit sort of comes up and you can put it back and forth how you want it. You can cover up those charging ports there as well. You can put the normal charging port there. I think that's a 12-volt charger if I'm not Yeah, it should be a 12-volt charger. The standard, as you get in most cars these days, a glove box down here, plenty of space, got the handbook in there. And like I was saying before, the materials that they put on the side of the doors and here on the passenger side of the front dash as well, just adds a bit more prestige to the car and makes it seem really nice. You get the stitching here as well, of course, in the inside of the steering wheel. And this steering wheel, I must say, is just perfectly designed. It's not too big, not too small. It seems smaller than most conventional sort of cars of this size and standard, but I love it. It just feels so great. Of course, you have the paddles on either side there as well, because if you were to put the car in semi-automatic, if you will, you can press that and you can see that you can switch through the gears, which is very nice. But of course, we'll try that out later, or perhaps on the motorway. Then of course, down here you have the release for the boot and the petrol cap, of course the lane assist and the automatic sort of start stop, if you will. Controlling the mirrors can be done from here. You can set it so when the car is locked, of course the mirrors fold in, or if you want them constantly in for whatever reason, you can go ahead and do that, or have them always out, so if you were to press the lock button on your key, it wouldn't do anything. Then go ahead and lock the windows as well. Then you can see how those won't accidentally open, only the driver's side will. Pushing that button again, you can see all the windows open back there, which is very nice. And of course that window does go down a pretty good way as well, which is always handy for the rear passengers. When it comes to the infotainment itself, of course there, if we press the home button there, you can see everything is controlled by this dial, this knob here in the middle. It's not touchscreen, so you don't have to worry about fiddling with that, which I really like. You don't have to worry about fiddling through the menus there when you're driving at high speed on the motorway. If you want to do something simple as turn on your heated steering wheel or your heated seats, for example, you don't have to worry about any of that. Everything is here and they have a good physical touch. And one thing I like is, if you hear that, these buttons have a good touch to them, a good sound to them. They're nice, good physical buttons, and not sort of a haptic feedback, sort of what you get on your phone really, which kind of makes it weird. You're not quite sure if you press it or not, then you have to look down at it, and it sort of takes away from looking at the road and can become a bit dangerous, which I really like. So these are quite good here to have these physical buttons. And of course, as I said before, the stitching here is just so nice. You get, of course, the upgraded Bose sound system in this particular model as well, which is very good. We can't, of course, test that on YouTube. We will get copyrighted, unfortunately, but believe me, that is a really good sound system. Moving on then, of course, to the actual dash itself. One thing I want to point out, which I really like, to change from miles per hour to kilometers per hour, you press this little analog stick here, which I really like. Of course, everything these days is digital, so instead of fiddling around for whatever reason, if you're traveling through different countries, you can just go ahead and press that if you're on a road trip or something. Then we're just switching through the menus here. Of course, you have trip A, trip B. This will be your lane assist on the motorway. We can demonstrate after. It picks up cars around you and senses them, and it keeps you aware of cars and your surroundings. Of course, it shows you when your service is due. This car being brand new is due in about a year or so. The range, we don't have that much petrol here. I've just been sort of driving around town, moving the car, maneuvering it around, so the range is not too high right now. Then of course you can just have it off as your normal speedometer. So then if we go ahead and go through the menus quickly, of course, as I said before, everything is done through this dial here, not touchscreen. If we go to the settings then, and say we go through to the in-vehicle display, of course you have a heads-up active display here, so I'm not sure how well the camera is picking that up, but you can of course completely customize that and change it to have a high or low. In fact, you need it. We'll go ahead and keep that in the standard there. And there's a bunch of different settings you can go through and change for this car. As I said before, as it does have a Bose surround sound system in here, you can control all the settings in there and really customize it how you want it. And of course, changing all the chimes there. If we go to vehicle settings, let's see, click on doors, changing when you can automatically lock the doors there. Of course, we have it from when we set off, when we drive, you can do it, but you can have it so when the key is in your pocket and you walk away from the car, it will automatically lock for you. Automatic rain sensing wipers as well. One thing I want to quickly go through, I think it would be in exterior lighting. Of course, there we have adaptive LED headlights. Now, what that essentially means there, as it sort of shows you a picture, when you're on the motorway and there are oncoming cars or on an A road, for example, your headlights might dazzle them. Of course, this car being quite high as well and having quite powerful headlights as well, LED lights. So By enabling that, what the system will do in that sort of sensor in the Mazda badge there, as we showed you in the beginning at the front of the car, it will sense oncoming vehicles and cars in front of you traveling at perhaps slower speed if you catch up to them, and it will automatically dim and turn off lights where it deems to be. So again, you see, if you turn it off, it will dazzle a car there oncoming on your other side, but if you were to have it on, the car will think about that and adapt to it itself. It's all very clever technology, and just makes for safer driving for everyone really. Of course, there you can do things like turn the volume up and down of your turn signals. Let's see, if you go to interior lighting here, you can see how powerful the ambient lighting inside would be, how long you want the lights for to turn on and off for when you step out of the vehicle, and just a bunch of different things. And of course, connectivity settings as well, with Apple CarPlay and Bluetooth and whatnot. It's all quite handy and very simple. That's the main thing. Of course, you have these shortcuts down here as well, not just all embedded in there. Want to quickly click on the audio, it will go there to the radio or whatever you have plugged in, and of course navigation as well, and then home and the back button as well. Just pressing that will mute it. And then of course you have the controls on the steering wheel here as well, for when you're phoning your volume up and down, next for and next and previous on the track. And of course on this side is more the information to do with lane assist and keeping a distance from a car in front of you, or cruise control. We'll of course demonstrate that as we're driving along on the road, but you can see all the different settings there change as you're pressing the controls on the steering wheel. So let's get to driving this car then, and we'll see how it performs on the road. We'll go ahead and we'll keep the car in normal mode for now. Sport, see, there we go, normal. And let's just turn that down. Be quite careful coming out of here, this car's quite big. We'll go ahead first and just do some regular town driving here through Letchworth, of course.
Then arrive at destination on the left.
We're not going to follow that just for now, we'll ignore that. Go ahead and head this way towards some A roads and some motorways. Straight away, maybe I should turn that off. There we go, turn that down. We don't need it. But straight away you can tell from the steering of the car, it's not too heavy for a car this size. Some cars these days really do struggle with their steering, and it becomes sort of too assisted almost, and it feels kind of fake, if you will. You kind of get that in some electric cars as well, but what they've done here is very good. Again, like I said before, the steering wheel was the perfect sort of size really, and it just feels very nicely balanced. Not too light, not too heavy, you know. Feels like you're driving a very average sized car, but of course this car being bigger and nice.
Then take the next right.
I'm not quite sure why that is still speaking. There you go. You have to turn it down there when it's actually speaking to you. Go ahead and turn right from here. You can see visibility in this car is really good. The A-pillar here on my right there, where that Bose speaker is, not too big, not too in your face, and you don't end up sort of faffing around at junctions looking left and right, which of course at junctions now, with the new laws and regulation when it comes to driving, letting pedestrians go when it comes to junctions, that will come in quite handy. Of course you don't want to be faffing around and causing accidents. And these mirrors as well, these wing mirrors are massive and very good, but they don't obstruct your view then, of course, as well. You see Mazda have placed them in a way where you can still see past that A-pillar there on the right hand side, and that mirror doesn't block your view, but still gives you plenty of viewing space there for when you're looking out in your blind spot there as well. View from the rear there, I'm not quite sure if you can see that in the rear mirror depending on how the camera is mounted, but plenty of room you can see back there, not obstructed or anything by the rear seats, which is always great. Just put it in sport mode there. You can see the revs build up when I step on it. There you can see. It does make a difference. Of course, this is not exactly a supercar or anything like that. It is quite a big and heavy car, but putting it in sport mode just sharpens everything up a bit, I'm sure, you know, sharpens up the suspension and the steering a little bit as well. Makes it feel that little bit more sporty, if you will. The throttle response more, it revs a bit higher as well there, as you heard. I'm sure it got quite loud there briefly, but just makes for something a bit more sportier, if you like. But of course, that's not what this car is made for. It's made for being a family car, a nice cruising car for the motorway. This will do just fine. If we go ahead, let's press info and go to this, you can see it senses how far that car is ahead of me. We don't really have any cars coming in the right hand lane, but it shows you useful information there, which is quite good. Of course, let's just flick through these. You can set it so it automatically stays a certain distance between the car in front of you. Obviously don't want that, we can turn it off. And what else do we have here? We have a speed limiter, cruise control there as well. See if we can set that up. Go 61, my foot is off the accelerator there. Speed limit is now 70, so if I quickly increase that, you see it climbs to 70, has a green line there on the speed of it as well, and it's all very good. I'm just going to go ahead and put this down. Hopefully that's not blocking your view too much, but you can still see with the sun there. You can see it's sensing that there's a car there coming towards my right, and then off it goes. It's pretty good. But you can see as cars do go by my right hand side, that blind spot monitoring tool there pops up in orange to let me know. If I were to signal just in case there, you see it wasn't going to do it, but it beeps at me and it flashes at me on the heads up display there as well, to keep me more aware, of course, of your surroundings, which is very handy. Again, another safety feature there in this car, which is very good to have on board. And there you heard there, the start stop. You can turn the start stop off just from down there, but we'll keep that on. This car, of course, having the automatic headlights, automatic wipers as well in it as well, which of course you can all turn off if you wish, but of course there's no point in doing that. You might as well keep it all on and let the car do everything for you and have your driving experience as smooth as possible. You can see there as that Mercedes approaches my right, the blind spot monitoring tool flashes there for me, which is very handy indeed. And you can of course change gears yourself, so right now we're in 6th, but you see if I were to downshift, go to 5th there, and to 4th, and then 3rd as well, and you can see it becomes a semi-automatic flappy paddle gearbox, and it's actually quite responsive as well. For a car this big, it's actually quite interesting. Just put it back into drive there. You can either start doing it yourself from the gears there itself, or if you were to put it in semi-automatic and then back into drive there, it will do it for you as well. And so as we come to a bit of traffic here, getting close to Norton Way Nissan, that will pretty much wrap up this quick overview and walk around of the 2022 Mazda CX-5. And like I said before, please do let us know down in the comments below what you'd like to see on this channel, whether it be different sort of car reviews or comparing cars to each other and different brands as well. Do let us know and we'll try our best to fulfill those wishes. But of course, like I said, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more weekly content, and keep an eye out for content every Friday. We do tend to put out reviews every Friday now as well. As we go around the roundabout there near Norton Way Mazda. But like I said, thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one, and we'll see you then. Cheers.